Hi there, and welcome to week 2 of this Lenten Lecture-Recital Series on the topic of organ meditations. My name is Sebastian Moreno, and this week we're going to be taking a look at the origin of published organ meditations, specifically looking at the musical influences of the time period, the developments in organ building, as well as some of the key composers of the organ meditation. We have a lot to discuss and a lot to listen to, so why don't we get started? Now, for the second video in this series, we are here at St. Peter's Erindale Church in Mississauga, where I will be performing on their 3-manual Cass event organ. The beginnings and the popularity of the published organ meditation take place in 19th century France. I've titled this video the Symphonic Organ Meditation, not only because of the influence of the new symphonic style of organs that was taking hold in France during this time period, but as well the importance to published meditations due to the symphonic style of orchestral writing that was taking place at the time. There are earlier examples of published meditations by orchestral composers, such as Hector Berlioz's Méditation religieuse from 1831, that predate published organ meditations. It isn't until later in the century, for example, Guilmant's Meditation from 1861, that we get examples of meditations in organ literature. Now, this by no means is to describe that meditations weren't being used by organists prior to the publication of organ meditations. However, the tradition of improvising meditations during religious services, which we will discuss in our final video in this series, shows that the organ meditation does not begin to be published until the further development of the orchestral organ occurs. Charles Mary Widor was very adamant that the developments by Cavaillé at the time, this grander style of organ building, allowed for a new approach for organ composition by France's composers and organists. We see examples, such as our first piece today, in Widor's First Symphony, where we have a meditation movement that utilizes these new grander and melodic organs that allow for the development of what we see as the organ meditation in its softer registrations, its very melodic qualities, and its slower tempo. I hope that you enjoy the meditation movement from Widor's First Symphony. Widor's First Symphony, we have many examples of published organ meditation, most notably from Alexandre Guilmant. Now, Guilmant is perhaps best known for his what seems like endless collections of published organ literature for the practical organist. And these publications are examples of how extensive meditations were improvised during services and would have been part of any organist's tool belt in France during the time. Now, the relationship between these two organists goes beyond location and time period, as they both share a commonality in their teacher, Jacques-Nicolas Lemons. From Lemons, they both grew to have an affinity for German Baroque music, for the pedal technique of that time period, and as well a love for the larger structures of composition that we find that take place during the symphonic organ period in France. The second piece we'll be hearing today is the middle movement, the Meditation from Guilmant's Sixth Sonata from 1897. And in the sonata, we hear how the developments of Cavaillé-Coll's instruments only continue to influence this more luxurious harmonic sound that we've come to associate as the symphonic organ style. Join me next week as we take a look at organ meditations as large-scale pieces, and we will be located at a large-scale instrument at St. James Cathedral in Toronto.